Let's go to CTV's Colton Praill, who is live at the United Nations for us this morning. Colton, clearly we are talking about U.S. President Donald Trump. All eyes watching him this morning. What are we expecting to hear from his speech?
Yeah, Matt, a major speech, as the White House has teased. And it's not just the Palestinian statehood recognition that he's going to be calling out allies for. We heard the White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt yesterday say that the president feels as though institutions like the United Nations have led to the decay of the global order. Donald Trump has made very clear over the years he is no fan of the UN. He has stopped making payments to its budget. He pulled out of the United Nations Human Rights Commission. He pulled out of the World Health Organization, another UN body. He has been very clear. He believes there needs to be significant reforms here. And we're told that his speech, his first speech addressing the UN, we should point out since 2017, is going to focus on him promoting his vision for the world, his vision for the world, in the words of Carolyn Leavitt. It is expected to be at odds with a number of the countries here. We heard yesterday the Prime Minister Mark Carney talking about the need for multilateralism, the need to strengthen and ensure the sustainability and continuity of organizations like the World Bank, like the United Nations, in order for middle powers like Canada to succeed on the world stage. Donald Trump has a very different view of things, and so his speech is going to be particularly interesting to watch because it will be at odds with what many of the countries here actually want from an organization like this. I was speaking with the Irish Foreign Minister just a few moments ago, and he was quick to point out that while he also agrees the UN needs significant reforms, the funding challenges caused by the lack of liquidity, in large part due to budget cuts from the U.S. president, means that institutions like this have a very significant challenge at a time where there are more global conflicts than any time since the Cold War. So, this is a very delicate time. It's the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. There is the overarching question as to how institutions like this move forward in a great power world like the ones they were created out of after the Second World War. And, Donald Trump has made it very clear that that is the kind of bilateralism, of great power rivalry that he is looking to go back to in some aspects. So his speech is going to be very, very impactful. It also comes at a very different time than the last time he gave his speech. In 2017, he was still a relatively new leader. He was laughed at when he talked about the things that he was able to accomplish. There is much more deference and respect to the U.S. president because of the power of the American economy, because of how we've seen he is able to and willing to wield that power. And so how countries react to what he says today is going to be very, very interesting to watch, especially when it comes to the issue of Palestinian statehood, but also just the UN in general.
And just the impact of that. Colton, quickly before I let you go, the Prime Minister also has a packed day of events today on top of the General Assembly. What's on his agenda?
Yeah, holding a little kind of mini conference on the International Coalition for the Return of Ukrainian Children. Canada chairs that with Volodymyr Zelensky. He also has a number of bilateral meetings coming up today, among them the leaders of Haiti and Barbados, but also, crucially, the Premier of China, who he will meet with a little later on. And then the potential later this evening for a FaceTime with the president. He's going to the UN leaders' receptions. Donald Trump making remarks there. We heard from, for example, in Parliament a couple of weeks ago, the bloc leaders saying that some in Washington were disappointed the Prime Minister hadn't spent more face-to-face time with the president. This could be an opportunity for that tonight, but there will be many, many world leaders looking for just such an opportunity at that reception. The president's schedule really only has him being there for about 2.5 hours, so we will see if the Prime Minister can find some time in that window.
Okay, CTV's Colton Praill in New York outside the United Nations for us. Thank you, Colton, for this. We'll check in with you in a little bit.